One moment you're living in 2025. The next, you can't breathe. Not because you're choking, but because the air itself feels wrong. Thick, wet, rotten. You open your eyes and immediately regret it. Darkness, flickering firelight. Smoke curling along a low ceiling blackened by years of soot. The smell hits harder than the fear. Human waste, damp straw, unwashed bodies, old blood. Your stomach twists. You try to sit up. Pain shoots through your back. You raise your hands and freeze. They're not your hands. They're swollen, cracked, fingernails broken and rimmed with dirt, skin hardened into permanent calluses. These hands have worked until bleeding and then kept going. Your heart slams. You swing your legs down. Something moves across your ankle, fast, light. A scratching sound disappears into the shadows. A rat, big, comfortable, at home. Outside, church bells toll, slow, measured. 1, 2, 3. Each bell feels deliberate, final. You don't know why yet, but you already understand. This isn't a dream. You are not visiting history. You are trapped in it. Year 1347, Europe. You step outside. Cold air bites your lungs. A gray sky presses down on a village made of mud, wood, and resignation. People move without urgency, bent under invisible weight. No one smiles. No one makes eye contact. You catch your reflection in a puddle. You don't recognize the face staring back. You are a serf, not poor, owned. Your life belongs to the land, and the land belongs to a lord you will never speak to. You work. You obey. You survive if you're lucky. Food is scarce. Clean water is rarer. And rats are everywhere. They run along ropes, across rooftops, through doorways, bold, well-fed, thriving. Your modern mind screams, you know what this means. But here, knowledge is dangerous. You remember something else now, a fact buried in textbooks, a single moment, a single ship. You don't see it, you feel it. Far to the south, weeks ago, a ship limped into a Mediterranean port. Sicily. Its crew was dying, some already dead, some screaming, some covered in black swellings the size of apples. The cargo wasn't spices. It was death. Fleas left the bodies. Rats left the ship. Trade routes did the rest. And now, the clock is ticking. Morning comes with labor. You work until your muscles burn. Plowing fields, hauling stone, repairing fences. Bread is rationed. Water tastes faintly of rot. Your stomach is never full. People cough. A lot. No one panics yet. They never do at first. That night, lying on straw, you scratch your leg. A flea bite. Probably nothing. Probably. Do you speak? You know something no one else does. Do you? A. Warn them. Rats, fleas, disease. B. Stay silent and survive quietly. Pause. Choose. If you speak, faces turn, eyes narrow. Someone whispers witch. Someone else crosses himself. If you stay silent, you disappear into the crowd. Either way, the bells ring tomorrow. It happens fast. A man collapses in the fields, fever, shaking, screaming. By morning, he's dead. Then another, then another. You see the swellings next. Groin, armpits, neck, black, angry, painful. The smell of death arrives before the bodies do. Flies gather. Someone you love falls sick. Their skin burns, their breathing rattles, their eyes lock onto yours. Don't leave. Your chest tightens. You know the truth. Most people who show symptoms don't live 3 days. Stay or leave. Do you? A. Stay and care for them. B. Isolate to survive. Pause. Choose. Stay. You hold their hand as fear eats you alive. Leave. You walk away. They don't forgive you. The village doesn't panic all at once. It fractures. Slowly at first, a house goes quiet, then another. Then smoke stops rising from chimneys you've seen every day of your life. You notice the smell before the bodies. Sweet, thick, wrong, death without burial. People stop touching each other. Neighbors you've known for years cross the road to avoid you. Children are dragged indoors, doors slam shut in daylight. Then the prayers begin. Not quiet ones, loud ones. A group arrives from the next town, men stripped to the waist, backs torn open by whips. Each strike lands with a wet crack. Blood runs down their legs as they chant for mercy. Crowds follow them. You want to scream at them to stop. You know what crowds do. They spread fleas, they spread death. But no one listens anymore. Fear has replaced reason. The Lord's decree comes at sunset. No one leaves the village. Guards block the road with spears. Anyone who tries is beaten back. That night, the dead cart comes twice. Once at dawn. Once again before noon. Then comes the accusation. A woman, alone, old, convenient. Someone claims she poisoned the well. You see her dragged into the square, screaming, begging, no trial, no mercy. You don't step forward. No one does. The crowd watches her disappear, and in that moment, you understand, this place will not save you. You don't sleep. Not really. You lie awake listening. Coughs, crying, bells. Always the bells. Your body feels wrong, heavy, sluggish. By morning, light hurts your eyes. Your head pounds with every heartbeat. You try to stand and almost fall. Your throat is dry. Your skin burns. You tell yourself it's exhaustion. You tell yourself it's fear. Then the pain hits. Deep, sharp, unmistakable. You freeze. Slowly, carefully, you check. There it is. A swelling. Hard, tender, growing. Your mind races. You know exactly what this means. You remember the timeline. Fever, delirium, death. Most people don't make it past the third day. You isolate immediately. You tear fleas from your clothes. Wash yourself raw. Change everything. Drink water until your stomach cramps. Outside, life keeps collapsing. Inside, your body wages war. The fever comes in waves. You sweat through straw. Shiver uncontrollably. Dream while awake. You hear bells even when none are ringing. At some point, you stop counting days. You only count breaths. Then, slowly, something changes. The fever breaks. Your skin cools. The pain eases. The swelling softens. You are still here, alive. You don't celebrate. You've seen what survival costs. Survival doesn't feel like winning. It feels like standing in a world that no longer recognizes itself. Days pass. You step outside again. The village is hollow now. Doors hang open. Roofs sag. No smoke rises from chimneys that once fed families. Fields lie half-planted, half-forgotten. You notice how quiet it is. No laughter, no arguments, no children, only wind and crows. You realize something unsettling. You don't feel relief. You feel distance. The plague didn't just scar your body. It changed you. You've seen neighbors abandon neighbors, faith turn into violence, authority collapse overnight. And now the question isn't how you survive. It's what kind of survivor you are. So ask yourself, do you A. Keep your head down, protect yourself, trust no one, live quietly in a world that has proven how fragile it is, or B. Step into the vacuum, take risks, negotiate wages, move between towns, shape what comes next, knowing power now belongs to the living? Pause. Choose. Because this choice doesn't decide whether you live. It decides who you become. You didn't defeat the Black Death. No one did. It burned through Europe like fire through dry wood, killing tens of millions, collapsing systems that had stood for centuries. You didn't stop it. You endured it. And endurance has a cost. You carry memories you didn't ask for, images you can't unsee, names no one else remembers anymore. But you are still breathing, and that matters. Because when the plague finally fades, the world that rises afterward is not the same one that fell. Peasants demand wages, lords lose control, old rules crack. The modern world begins here, not in triumph, but in survival. Silence doesn't last. It never does. One morning, someone stands where orders used to come from. Not a lord, not a steward, just a man who survived. He speaks with certainty. He tells people where to work, who gets tools first, who may take land left behind. No one appointed him. No one challenges him. You understand why immediately. After chaos, people want structure more than fairness. Authority no longer needs permission, it needs confidence, and enough followers to make resistance feel dangerous. You begin to notice how empty the world has become. Fields lie half-planted, workshops sit silent, livestock wander without owners. What once required permission now requires courage. That realization unsettles you. Every abandoned thing is also contested. You are not the only one watching empty houses. Others watch you watching them. Survival sharpened everyone. Hunger did not disappear with the plague. It changed shape. Now it looks like ambition. Now it sounds like quiet arguments after sunset. Voices lower when footsteps pass nearby. Work becomes negotiable for the first time in your life. Someone offers you silver to stay. Someone else offers more if you leave. A farmer promises land if you help him bring it back to life. Before the plague, this would have been impossible. You feel the shift in your bones. Your labor is scarce now. Your body, once disposable, has value. That knowledge feels intoxicating. It also feels dangerous. You have seen what scarcity does to food. Now you see what it does to people. Power does not announce itself. It whispers. It offers comfort. It asks for obedience. Not everyone is allowed to benefit. Laws appear quickly, quietly. Rules meant to freeze wages. Rules meant to force people back into places they no longer fit. Punishments return just as fast. Public, deliberate. Designed to remind survivors that survival alone does not grant freedom. You watch someone dragged forward for demanding more than he is worth. The message is clear. The plague changed reality. Those who ruled before intend to pretend it did not. Tension thickens. Conversations stop mid-sentence. Glances linger too long. Trust becomes selective. You face a choice you never expected to have. You can accept what is offered quietly. Take your silver. Keep your head down. You can move. Sell your labor where desperation pays best. Drift through a broken world that suddenly needs you. Or you can stay. Speak. Gather others who survived and refuse to return to silence. None of the choices feel safe. All of them feel permanent. You understand something now. The plague did not just kill people. It destroyed inevitability. The future is no longer decided for you. That freedom weighs more than chains ever did. Resistance does not begin with shouting. It begins with murmurs, shared complaints, quiet agreements made in doorways and fields. You notice how quickly trust forms between survivors. Trauma shortens caution. People who watched death together imagine defiance together. But rebellion carries weight. You have seen how fast order returns when it feels threatened. Power adapts faster than fear. Every gathering feels like a gamble. Every spoken word feels like a test. The threat no longer comes from sickness. It comes from memory. Those in power remember how things were. They want them restored. Survivors remember how fragile those systems proved to be. That tension hangs over everything. Taxes feel heavier. Punishments feel sharper. Mercy disappears. The old world is trying to return, but it stands on thinner ground. You understand something others have not yet said aloud. Systems that survive disaster are never the same ones that existed before it. You look around and recognize where you are. A hinge moment, not a clean break, not a glorious beginning, a narrow passage between what was and what might be. Wealth is uneven, power is unstable, violence sits closer to the surface, and still, beneath it all, possibility exists. The plague stripped the world down to essentials. Now humanity rebuilds it unevenly, clumsily, guided by fear and opportunity more than wisdom. You are not watching history unfold. You are inside it. Nothing feels resolved. And that is the truth. The Black Death did not end the story. It cracked it open. You survived the disease. Now you must survive what comes after. Envy, control, rebellion, the slow redistribution of power. The world did not become safer. It became negotiable. And as you stand among the ruins, choosing silence or resistance, comfort or change, you understand this. History is not made by those who lived comfortably through catastrophe. It is made by those who lived through it and refused to go back. You sleep that night without expecting anything. Sleep comes heavy, dreamless, complete. Then you wake up. The ceiling above you is smooth, clean, white. No smoke stains, no rafters, no spiders retreating into cracks. The air smells like nothing at all. Not rot, not sweat, not fear, just neutral. You hear a sound you don't recognize at first. A low, steady hum. Electricity. Your body freezes, waiting for bells that never come. You sit up. The bed is soft, too soft. Your hands aren't calloused anymore. No cracks, no dirt beneath the nails. Your chest rises easily, no tightness, no fever memory clinging to your lungs. Somewhere nearby, a screen lights up. Numbers glow calmly. The date makes no sense until it does. 2025. Your heart starts racing, not with relief, but disbelief. You touch your face, your arms. You are whole, clean, alive in a way that feels unreal. Outside, cars pass. Lights flicker on command. The world obeys rules again. Safe rules. Predictable ones. But something is wrong. You still remember the silence after the bells stopped. You remember abandoned fields. You remember what power looks like when it collapses, and who steps forward when it does. This world feels louder, faster, richer. But suddenly, it doesn't feel invincible. You understand something now. Catastrophe isn't ancient history, it's a cycle. And you didn't just visit the past, you brought it back with you.
So you see that you endured Black Death, and endurance changed you, and you are still breathing. Who knows, you might wake up during a Viking raid, or the fall of Rome, or a future pandemic worse than this. So tell me, would you survive? Comment your choices, like if you made it. Subscribe for the next era, because history isn't over, and neither is your story.